Hello there guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. We are now in Series 36 Horizon Cars and Coffee, where we have a lovely evolving world feature to go with the theme, as well as some new cars, a new car pack and a bunch of other things that have been added in with the update. What we also have is a brand new festival playlist with 4 seasons. We've got a lovely series tab here. And then we've got summer, autumn, winter and spring to look at, with loads of exciting challenges and rewards along the way. And in this video we're going to be focusing on the summer wet season, where we've got a brand new car for 20 points out of a total of 75 points for the season, and we'll be working through all of the events in this week's festival playlist. So we'll be starting off with the Forzathon Events section. We'll be moving over to the season events section, then over to challenges, over to monthly events, and finally over to the expansion events right at the end there. And we'll be covering all of the challenges in the playlist. I'll be giving you tips, tricks, and also cars and tune suggestions as well along the way, so that you can use some of my tunes, you can use my tips, and hopefully then completing these challenges will be easier for you. It's completely up to you which order you do these in. It doesn't really matter that much, but all of my tricks will hopefully help you to figure out which ones you want to do first, and depending on how many points you're going for in the playlist, you might be going for the 100% achievement, or you might just want 20 or 40 points, and you can pick and choose which of the challenges you want to do. The chapters will hopefully also be in the description within around 24 hours of upload. Usually Dobra does them, one of my channel mods, or sometimes I do them as well if I've got time, but Dobra does them usually to help me out by the time I've got the video out, just to give me a bit of extra time so that I don't have to go back and watch it all. But if you want to use the chapters in the description whenever they are there, bearing in mind that they might not be there as soon as it goes live, then you can skip to each event or section that you want to do and want to look at, and obviously then you can go back, say you've watched the whole video and you want to just go back and check something as you're completing it, then that will hopefully help you to do that as well. So without any further ado, we'll get in and we'll take a quick look at the rewards. I'll just say anything else I need to say before we start the video. I'm going to try and keep it briefer. I'm not calling this a short walkthrough like I did last week or the week before. Yeah, because last week I was in Goodwood Festival of Speed, so the week before I did a quick short walkthrough of the winter season of Series 35, where we had the Toyota GI Yaris as our exclusive, but I'm not going to call it a short walkthrough because I intend to go through every challenge, but I'll try to cut out the waffling. I know I say that every time, but I will try to cut out the waffling, which is what I'm doing now. So let's get straight into the rewards, and then we'll be able to jump straight into the challenges. And if you've got any questions as we go through, just leave them in the comments. You can pin a time to help me locate what you're referring to if you need to do that, and I will get back to all your comments. So don't worry about that. If for some reason YouTube removes them or blocks them or whatever, I can hopefully override that in the channel mods section, the YouTube studio. So do not worry, just leave any comments, suggestions, constructive criticism, whatever it might be, or just general, whatever you want to say. You can put that in the comments, and I'll reply to you. And you can also contact me on Xbox using my gamer tag in the top left there, or if you really need to, on Discord, which is the same but with a lowercase s, on Shylo. So enough of the waffling, let's get straight into it. Right then, so as I have already mentioned or hinted to, we have got an exclusive car as our 20-point reward for the summer season, which is of course the season that we're currently in. Out of a total of 75 points, your 20-point reward is the 2021 Lamborghini Aventador, which is basically the send-off of the Aventador before all of the new hybrid and eventually electric things come along. Of course, we've currently got the Revuelto, or however you pronounce that, the Revuelto, which was showcased, and that was, I think that was at Goodwood as well. But this is kind of the last hurrah for the Aventador, and you can unlock it in this season. So you've got until next Thursday, or this Thursday, whenever it's released, to unlock this Aventador. And then for 40 points, you've got a Ferrari Dino, which is another hard to find car. Probably not in the auto show, and you'll have trouble finding it for a decent price in the auction house. So now is a good chance to unlock that car. Heading over to the series, we have got another exclusive car that has been brought in with the update for 80 points. So if you get 80 points across the series, then you'll be able to unlock the Aston Martin Vanquish from 2018. Not really sure of the story with this one. On the face of it, doesn't really seem too special considering other things that are going on with Aston Martin at the moment, and the fact that it's 6 years old. We've got Vanquishes and Vantages and all of that, but nevertheless, it's been added in, and I'm sure it's a very nice car. And if you get 80 points across the series, for example, if you get 20 points every season, you might get it in spring, or if you get full points in this season, you might be able to get it in autumn. Actually, you might even be able to get it this season if you complete the monthlies, because obviously the monthlies will add the points on to the total as well, which I'll explain later on when we get to that. You might even be able to unlock it this week. But a card that you won't be able to unlock this week is for the 160 point reward, which you'll probably get in autumn, winter or spring, and that is the DeBerti Ford Mustang. Another hard to find car. Not really much else to say about that. So let's crack in to the festival playlist. Only other thing I want to say, of course, is the new car pack. If you're not aware, there is a new car pack that's come with this Series 36 update. It's not really related to cars and coffee. It's a JDM car pack. I think it's called Japan Legends or something like that. And it's got 4 kind of retro Japanese cars in there that you might want to take a look at. I think it's £4. And around €4 or €5 and dollars if you want to purchase it. And obviously, as per the routine, it does not come with any of the editions of the game, so you have to pay for it separately. And apart from that, go and check out the Cars and Coffee location, which is located on the western end of the highway, the roundabout there. But let's get straight into the summer season. Right then, so as always, the first section in the festival playlist is the Forzathon event section, which hosts the weekly challenge, the daily challenges, and the Horizon Forzathon shop, where you can spend the points that you earn from the other challenges, and also Horizon Arcade, where you get Forzathon points as your reward, and occasionally, like for treasure hunts as well, you can get some Forzathon points from those. A good house to own in relation to this is the La Casa Solariga Playhouse. That house comes free with VIP Pass, I think, so if you own the VIP Pass or you've got it as part of one of the editions of the game, like the Premium Edition or Add-ons bundle, that house gives you double Forzathon points in all of them events that I've mentioned. So in the Forzathon section, arcade, and if you get points from treasure hunts, it doubles, and that's really handy, especially if you're new to the game. It boosts how many points you get, obviously, and then you've got more points to spend in the shop, because then if a car comes up in the Horizon Forzathon shop that you really want to buy because it's quite rare, it's not in the auto show, and it's really expensive or rare in the auction house, you want to spend Forzathon points on it instead of credits, then obviously you'll need Forzathon points to spend, and thus having double Forzathon points enables you to get that much quicker. As you can see, I've got 25,500, but that's just because I haven't spent Forzathon points in a long while, must be a couple of months now. I occasionally buy things just so I've got duplicates, or I buy the horns and things like that, but I don't really buy anything else in here because I usually already own them, but it's definitely handy to still have that house if you want to buy stuff in here. Now, let's jump straight into the Forzathon Weekly Challenge, which is called Real Open Sports. It will get you 5 points towards your playlist count here on the left, and then also some Forzathon points. So it's 80 Forzathon points, or if you own that house, it doubles to 160 Forzathon points, and you kind of get the gist of what I mean here. You get a bonus every time you do one of these challenges. For Chapter 1, Club Racer, you'll need to own and drive the 2009 Honda S2000 CR, and that can be purchased in the auto show if you need it. I did have a quick look through the challenges, because sometimes the cars that you need for some of the events can be purchased, can be won from different events in the playlist. However, that is not the case with this car, but it is in the auto show, and it'll be in the auction house as well, nice and plentiful in there if you need to buy it. Quite cheap, I think. I will pop the screenshot up of it in my garage, and I'll pop the tune up as well. For other tunes that I showcase throughout, after each challenge, for example in the season event section, I will show my the cars that I've got selected for that challenge, and then obviously, unless I say otherwise, the tunes will be created by me. And if you search up obviously my gamer tag on that car, the tune should pop up, and you can kind of see what the stats are in the garage, so you know what you're looking for. But with this Forzathon challenge, I'll pop it up on the screen for you so you can see just for this one, and you can also then see how much the Honda is worth. And you need to undrive that car. You need to use it for all of the challenges, so you can't just then hop in another car for the other challenges. And it is completely up to you whether you download a tune or not, or make your own tune, but I usually recommend it because it makes your life a bit easier and helps these challenges go a bit quicker, so you can get your points. Then once you're in your Honda S2000, you can move on to chapter 2, which is called Moving On Up, and that wants you to win the Vulcan Sprint, which is a road race. If you head over to the volcano, the road side, and you'll find at the bottom of that winding road is a road race called the Vulcan Sprint. Of course, you need to have unlocked the road racing, so if you're very, very new to the game and you haven't unlocked the Apex Festival yet, you will need to do that in order to access road racing. And if you want guides and walkthroughs on the start of the game, then you can check out all of my walkthrough videos that I did when the game launched. There should be a playlist on them, or if you scroll back through the videos to around November 2021. And I also did a video about the Hall of Fame as well, so all of the things that you need to know when you're starting out are already on my channel, or should be on my channel. But of course, if you need any other help or advice, then just ask me. But yes, you do need to have the road racing available, and then you need to head over there and you just need to win it. You can also lower your driver tar difficulty in the settings, so you can lower it all the way down to the minimum, which I think is tourist, so that the AI will be as slow as possible, and that will obviously increase your chances of winning and make your life a lot easier. But if you want to make it yourself a challenge and put it up to unbeatable, then by all means. But again, having a tune on your car will definitely help with this. And the tune I kind of went for was kind of a balance between all of the challenges, not too fast or not too favouring one of the chapters, but trying to get a balance between all of them. Once you have won that race, chapter 3, Downforce Drifter, wants you to earn 3 ultimate drift or e-drift skills. So again, I kept it rear wheel drive to kind of help with this, because when you're starting out drifting, sometimes all wheel drive drifting can be a bit of a pain. So the car will probably naturally slide a bit in corners. And an ultimate drift or e-drift is basically the top of the chain. So you start off with drift, then it's great drift, awesome drift, and then ultimate. So you will need to hold that drift for quite a while. And roundabouts are generally the best way to do that, especially with a rear wheel drive car. And that can be a good way if you're perhaps not as experienced with drifting. So head over to a roundabout, maybe the one where the Cars and Coffee location is at the west end of the highway, and try and hold that drift round until you see ultimate drift, maybe a couple of seconds, and you just need 3 of them. So once you've got it, snap out of the drift and then back in, and then do 3 of those. And finally, chapter 4, Loved But Limited, wants you to drive 5 miles, which I think is around 9 kilometres. So if you want to get it done quickly, head up and down the highway until it is completed. You maybe do 1 or 1.5 runs up the highway, or you can go for a scenic drive. It's completely up to you. But once you've completed all of those chapters, you'll have completed the Forzathon Weekly Challenge Real Open Sports. Now then, for your Forzathon Daily Challenges. There are 7 of them, and they release across the week, so you'll get 1 unlock every day. And that will unlock at the usual season change time, which is currently through 3:30 p.m. BST. Is it? Yeah, it is 3:30 p.m. BST, and that is when the usual season changes for the season change on a Thursday, and that is when these challenges kind of roll over. So one of them unlock each day at that time. and they each last for 7 days. So that'll mean that a lot of them, well, all but the first one, will overlap into the autumn season. So even once the autumn season started, you'll still be able to flick back to this tab in the festival playlist and complete some of these daily challenges if you haven't done them. And that's generally what I need to do. If I need a couple of extra points, I'll just come and complete a couple of these daily challenges for my 40-point reward. And that also means that you don't necessarily need to do them when they release. You can wait a couple of days and then complete them in batches if you want to. It's completely up to you. And you may find that some of these are related to the series, like the cars and coffee theme. Like, for example, this one, the coffee cup outfit. They're generally quite simple. They might ask you to do PR stunts, races, tuning, and things like that, or different skills. And if you need any help with them, as they release across the week, then just ask me, and I can give you tunes, offer advice, or whatever you need. Then for the Horizon Forzathon shop, we've already had a quick look in here, but the hot deal as such is the Ferrari 250 Testarossa for 800 Forzathon points. I'm not sure whether that, I think it was the newer, as I think the 80s Testarossa that was the festival playlist exclusive. So this car probably is in the auto show, but it may be quite a few million credits, or it might be quite hard to obtain in the auction house. So if you want to spend 800 Forzathon points, then it's completely up to you. Then we've got 600 Forzathon points for the Pagani Zonda Sync Roadster, which is near the top of S1 class. Really nice car. Not really sure how useful it is for racing given its PI, but it's still a very cool car. And we've got a sleepy emote, we've got a pinata head, and we've got a pinata outfit if you want to dress your character up in stripy clothing. And the wheel spin and super wheel spin. That wraps up the Forzathon section. Now then, we move over to the season events section, where we have Horizon Arcade, a trial, 3 EventLabs, 3 seasonal PR stunts, and 2 seasonal championships. So we'll start with the Horizon Arcade, which wants you to complete any Horizon Arcade theme for 3 points, and ultimately, I can't speak, you'll also get some Forzathon points. So once you've completed all 3 rounds, you'll get 30 Forzathon points, or you'll get 60 if you own that La Casa Solariga playhouse that I talked about earlier. And basically, all you need to do is go to one of the pink circles on your map. They won't show up at the moment because I haven't got the correct filter on my map. But you need to go to one of the pink circles, which will show up in a second. If I can find one, and you just need to complete all 3 rounds basically. So they can be there's usually one of them that's drift, so there's actually one that's over the top of the eliminator here. So there's one that's drift, and then the others can be wreckage, air, speed, and things like that. I think there might be one other. You just need to enter it and complete the rounds. It'll give you different challenges to do, and there's 3 rounds. If there's only you, there'll be a much lower objective than if there's say 4 or 5 people. So the objective, the total, amount of points or whatever that you need to get will vary depending on how many people are taking part. So do not worry if you're the only one. Quite often that is the case, actually, to be fair. And all you need to do is just do one of these. They pop up, I think, 12 minutes before they start, and then once they've started, you have a minute after that to get there, and they're every 15 minutes. So you'll always be able to find one on the map. And obviously bring a suitable car. I can't give you any car suggestions, but bring a suitable car, complete the challenge, and then that should hopefully complete it in the festival playlist. Next up in this section is the trial Pista de Resistance, which will get you 10 points towards your playlist, and also a Ferrari 488 Pista from 2019. And the restriction for this one is B-Class, Renault and Alpine, which we'll get to in just a second. But before we do, I'll just mention that this is a co-op event, so you do need Xbox Game Pass and basically online access to do this, because obviously there are things in Horizon 5 that you can play offline or in solo, but in this case, for the trial, you do need online access. You also need to have reached the Hall of Fame. So as I mentioned earlier, you can find a video on that on my channel on how to get to the Hall of Fame and what it's all about if you're new to the game. But you will notice that you won't be able to access this without that Hall of Fame unlocked. It's a co-op event where you're on a team of up to 6 players versus a team of up to 6 drive avatars. and you've basically just got to beat the drivatars by overtaking them. Each overtake gets you 100 points, and then first place from either team gets a bonus of 50 points, so 150 points in total. The drivatars get points for overtaking you, and basically at the end of the race, the team with the most amount of points from all of their players wins, and then it's a best of 3. So the first team to 2 wins takes the championship. So don't ram your teammates, of course. Feel free to ram the drivatars, but don't ram your teammates. Work as a team. Slow the AI down if you need to, and that should hopefully help you win. Now we'll go to the restrictions. So as I mentioned, it's B-Class, Renault and Alpine. It's on road racing, so make sure your car's suitable. If you want to use one of my cars, these are the cars and tunes that I've got for you. I'll pop them up on screen now. Right then, next up we have the first of 3 seasonal event labs which have been selected from community event labs, and the developers have featured them in this week's festival playlist. To be honest with you, the names of the creators of these festival playlist event labs are generally a same selection, so you tend to get the same creators and their different creations, if I'm entirely honest, but I do still quite enjoy these because it highlights some of the best Event Lab creations out there, and I don't really play them apart from this, so it is a good thing, I think, in the festival playlist. The first one this week then is from Subi156, and it is Mink Creek Circuit. It will get you 3 points towards the playlist and a super wheel spin, and the restriction for this one is B-Class Hot Hatch, not to be confused with Retro Hot Hatch or Super Hot Hatch. So let's see which ones I have got in my garage. The second event lab of the week is from XR Cosworth01, and this is Jumbo Jangle Juggernaut, which is will get you a Donut Media Lightning car horn reward, plus 3 points towards your playlist count, and the restriction for this one is A-Class Track Toys, not to be confused with Extreme Track Toys, so make sure you're getting these restrictions right when you're filtering in your garage, and again that is in A-Class, so let's see which of those I have got. Finally, for this little series of event labs, we have Jungle Rally Circuit from Unworthy Pleb, so I imagine this one is more of an off-road based one compared to the other two, which are probably more on-road based, and as per that suggestion, the reward for completing this is a rally car, the Ford Fiesta RS from 2017, which and that'll also get you 3 points towards your playlist. The restriction for this one is S1 class rally monsters, again reflecting the off-road element of this. So let's see which rally monsters I have got in S1 class. Following them event labs, we now have a trio of seasonal PR stunts to take a look at, and of course these are taken from the array of PR stunts that are on the map: danger signs, speed traps, speed zones, drift zones, trailblazers. There's always a selection of these in the week, and this week we have 3 of them, and they are based across speed traps and a speed zone, and it will all get you 2 points and a super wheel spin each. And the restriction is also the same for all of them, and that is that you must use the 1997 Nissan GTR in A-Class. So make sure you're in that car, the Skyline GTR V-Spec from 1997, and make sure that it is in A-Class because it starts in B-Class, so you'll have to upgrade it to A-Class. Of course, I've got a tune for you if you want to use it, which tries to take into account all of these different PR stunts, so speed and also a bit of cornering for the speed zone. If you want to download it, obviously you can, and I'll put the car up in the garage after we've talked through this. You'll also get to see some gameplay of me completing these. I don't do that for the expansion ones later on, but for these ones on the main map, I like to show a gameplay of me completing them so that you can see what kind of run up you need to be taking, where you need to be starting, how you need to be approaching it, etc, etc. Occasionally I do get it wrong, but obviously I'll always figure out the best way of doing it and show that in the video, as well as any possible fails. There may be fails this week, I don't know, because I'm recording this as we go along, of course, so we shall see. But anyway, we'll head over to the garage, and then before each one I'll show you quickly what the objective is. There's a seasonal objective on these PR stunts, and then I will show you the gameplay of each of them quickly, so I hope you enjoy. Now that you've seen me thankfully successfully pass those seasonal PR stunts, we can round off the season events section by taking a look at the 2 seasonal championships that the summer season has to offer. Now remember, these can be completed in solo, co-op or PvP, so it's entirely up to you which mode you choose to complete them in, although I would personally avoid PvP. Because at the end of the championship only one player will receive the reward, whereas in co-op, working the same way as the trial, everybody on the team then gets the reward by working together in a best of 3. And like I said, it'll work the same way as the trial. If you choose to do it solo, however, or you have to do it solo because you don't have online access, then you'll notice that after each race you'll get put back into free roam. Don't worry, you haven't been kicked out of the championship like some people think. Even I thought when I started playing, you just got to drive or fast travel to the next race in the championship, and they'll be set out when you actually start the championship. So you'll notice that it'll set out the 3 races on the map. And if you notice how with the icon here, it's like white icon on top of a red background, well, when the events are in your current championship, it will be reversed, so it'll be red icons on top of a white background, so you'll know which events are in your current championship and which ones are therefore in the other championships that you haven't started yet. And you can filter to seasonal events in your map to help you locate these as well, and then hopefully it should be fairly obvious which events that you need to complete. And obviously if you haven't unlocked fast travel, you haven't got the house that gives that perk, then you just have to drive to each event, and you have to do all 3 events and finish top of the pile out of you and all of the drivatars at the end of the championship. So the first seasonal championship is called Cosworth a Try. It is based on street racing, and it will get you 5 points towards the playlist and a 1992 Ford Escort RS Cosworth. And the restriction for this one is C-Class Classics Sports Cars. So we'll head over to my garage and I'll pop them up for you now. The second and final championship of the season events section is Up to Grade, and it will get you 5 points towards the playlist as well as a Nissan GTR 97, which of course you needed for the seasonal PR stunts that we have not long completed. This one is based on road racing, and the restriction is A-class upgrade heroes. Now, upgrade heroes is not a filter in your garage. It is one of the Horizon special categories, such as Subaru Impreza versus Mitsubishi Evo, heavy, whatever it's called, heavy lifters or whatever the hell it's called, heavy hitters. So it's one of the Horizon specials that you can apply in race events when you create blueprints, and that is actually how you can find out what the eligible cars are, because when you click view eligible cars in the festival playlist, it only shows the ones that start in the class that is required for the event. So for example, in this one, it'll only show cars that are A-class stock, whereas if you go to any race event, like a drag race or whatever, in blueprint to any class in Upgrade Heroes, you'll see all of the eligible cars, and then you can then decide which ones in your garage are applicable. So I have selected 4 that I had pre-tuned for this. All will be compatible for road racing. One of them is a slightly manic tune that I created on a stream once, but the other 3 are a bit more sensible. So I'll pop them up on screen for you now, and that will wrap up the season events section. That then wraps up the season event section. The longest section is now out of the way, and we can move on to the third section, challenges, where we have the treasure hunt, we have a photo challenge, and we have an eliminator battle royale challenge. And we'll start off, of course, with the treasure hunt, which is called Let's Bounce. And completing this, once you've smashed through the chest, you'll get yourself 3 points and 100,000 credits. Now, what I'll do here is I'll talk you through the clue, I'll tell you what you need to do, and then I will go and complete the challenge myself. I'll unlock the location with the zone. Works a similar way to a barn find. If you think about how barn finds work, where you get the purple circle, you get a bit of a hint from one of the player characters as to where it might be, and you just got to go and find it yourself. Well, this works in a similar way. So after you've completed this treasure clue, you've completed the challenge, it'll say treasure challenge completed, and this time you'll get like a pinky orange circle on your map, and somewhere in that circle is the treasure chest. And then if you head back to the festival playlist, this icon here, this tab in the festival playlist, will have changed to give you an additional clue as to where it is within that circle. And it'll be just kind of a picture, like a close-up, and you can see a bit of the background as to where it is. And usually that can give you guidance on where you might find the chest. But of course, I will show you where it is. So once we've reached that point, and I have shown you the circle and that, if you don't want to see the exact location of the chest, pause the video and go and complete it yourself, or you can skip to the photo challenge using the chapters, or just skimming across the video if the chapters aren't on when you're watching it, so that it isn't spoiled for you if you want to complete the treasure hunt later. So the treasure hunt clue for this week for Let's Bounce is as follows. These muscle cars, they're from Down Under, so jump in one, there's gold to plunder. Complete this challenge, it's down to you. Perform 3 skills called Kangaroo. Now, what do you need to do? Well, you need to get in a muscle car from Down Under. Down Under is, of course, Australia, and in the picture is the Holden Tirana A9X, so you need to get in any car from Australia, like a muscle car from Australia, and the Holden Tirana is one of those. I don't know whether, like, the HSV Maloo counts, and also the Holden Monaro from the 70s. Well, that is from the 70s, to be fair, but the earlier Holden Monaro, I'm not sure. I think the HQ, I don't know if that one qualifies, but I can qualify. Well, I've just repeated the word. I can test that for you to see if it works. So you need to hop in one of those. I would probably bet on the Holden Tirana just to be safe, because it's in the picture here. And then you need to get 3 kangaroo skills. Now, a kangaroo is basically where you get a couple of air skills in quick succession, or about 3 or 4 air skills in quick succession. So the easiest way to do that is to go to places where there's lots of bumps. So the Junus Blancus, where we've just completed this last PR stunt, is a perfect place to do that, because you can jump over the dunes, a couple of seconds, jump over the next dune, and the skill it'll continue for a couple of seconds. So you do get time to get the next air skill in between each, and then you get a couple in a row, and it'll get a kangaroo skill. You can also get a bit of bumpy terrain further towards the lava fields where you got quick bumps, and they can give you kangaroo skills. They're quite easy to get. You've probably done them hundreds of times in your Horizon career. You just need to get 3 of them skills separately, and that should complete the treasure challenge, and then of course you will get that circle pop up on your map. So I'm going to go and complete that now, and then I'll join you once I have done so. I can confirm that it does indeed work with the Holden HQ Monaro from 1973. That is the car that I have done it in. The HSV Gen F from 2014 also is a modern muscle car, so that should work. And if you do choose to use it and it works, let me know in the comments. But the other HSVs like the Maloo are not classed as muscle cars. They're vans and utility, so they probably won't work. However, we do know that the Tirana and the Monaro definitely work for this one. Anyway, this is the circle that pops up on your map once you've completed it. And then this, in the festival playlist, is your additional clue as to where it is. And as you can see, it is in a tunnel. And how many tunnels are there within this circle? Not very many, so it should be fairly simple to find. So let's go and look at the exact location. And there you are. There is your exact location, just off the road south of the Baja Festival, or should I say west of the Baja Festival. Should be fairly simple to find. There are 2 or 3 tunnels in a row, and you just need to find the one that it is in. It should be fairly simple. Smash through it and you get yourself 100,000 credits. Next up then in this challenges section is the photo challenge, #City Skyline, which will get you 2 points, and the clothing reward coffee cup outfit, which is a new item of clothing has been added in with the Cars and Coffee update to follow the theme, and it is a legendary. It's gone straight in at legendary there with the clothing rewards. So all this photo challenge wants you to do is photograph any Nissan Skyline at the El Pipila statue, which is by the Ladera Speed Zone in Guanajuato. So if you know where the Ladera Speed Zone is off the top of your head, not many people will, but funnily enough I do, because I'm a bit of a nerd. Then you just need to know you need to head somewhere in there, and basically it is just around here. You can see there's a bit of a corner. It's right at the south of Guanajuato on one of the higher points on the higher roads looking down on the city, and as you go around the corner there is a statue there on a bit of pavement. And you just need to hop in any Nissan Skyline. So pretty much all of the GTRs have got Skyline in a name. So any of the Nissans that have got Skyline in a name, hop in it. Go near this statue. If you want to get your character outside with a coffee hat on, completely up to you. Or you can just simply open up photo mode, spam that A button, take the photo, and then you are bish bosh done for the photo challenge, #City Skyline. Finally, for challenges is the Eliminator Battle Royale, which, as it has always been, is to finish 30th or better in a round of the Eliminator. So you just need to enter a round of the Eliminator either in the pause menu, in the online tab, you'll see it there just next to Horizon Open, or you can go to the map. On the map, there is a free roam location in the northeast, by the kind of the rocky bit, by the just at the very east end of the canyon. And if you filter to multiplayer on your map, you'll have seen it. And before, when we were looking at the Horizon Arcade, it was right there, hovering over the Horizon Arcade. So you just need to enter a round, and most likely in the top left, when it says drivers left, that number will be more than 30. There may be some occasions where it starts at less than 30, and thus you can only assume that you would automatically have completed the challenge, unless there's a bit of a flaw in the system where if you start at less than 30 you have to just get another round. But if you start more than 30 drivers left, you just need to play until that drivers left icon reads 30 or less, and of course that always includes you as well, so there'll be 29 other drivers or less in the lobby, and at that point, if you want to quit, you can. I've still never tested whether that works or not. It might invalidate the challenge. Personally, I would just play on and get eliminated naturally. You can either purposely challenge someone and let them beat you, or quit at that point and obviously then get eliminated, or you can just play and see how far you get legitimately. You might end up winning, you never know. But hopefully that should be fairly simple. If you need any tips and tricks, of course I do play the Limited quite often, so I can give you some tips and tricks from a try-hard perspective. And once you've done that, you'll get yourself 2 points and the Forza link reward. Or you're approaching me. Moving on to the penultimate section, that being the second to last, we have the monthly events, which is the monthly rivals of Series 36. As the name suggests, these last for the whole month. So you can complete them in any of the weeks. If you don't choose to do them this week, you can do them in autumn, winter, or spring. You may even do 2 of them this week and then the other 2 in winter. It's completely up to you on what you choose to do. But once you've done them, you'll only have to do them once, unless, of course, you want to go back and improve your time. That's completely up to you. That's not the objective, which we'll come to in a second. But if you want to do that, then completely fair enough. You know, I sometimes do that on the ones that I enjoy. There tends to be 1 or 2 of them that I like to go back to and improve my time on, because some of the combinations are a bit better than others. And of course, the cars featured in these are either cars that you can win in the festival playlist, or in this case 2 of these cars, specifically the ones on the Cathedral Circuit and the Mangrove Scramble, are part of that new car pack that I mentioned earlier, the JDM Icons. So if you don't own the car pack, this is your chance to drive 2 of the cars in it in the monthly rivals events. And the way the points work, as you can see, is each of them gets you 4 points. That's 4 points that will be added onto the series for each event. And then each week will then get 1 point added on, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then across all 4 of them, so 4 times 4 is 16, so that's 16 points for the series in total, once you've completed all of them. And then 4 points added on to each series, because 16 divided by 4 is 4. So hopefully that makes sense. And obviously if you complete them all this week, you'll start autumn, winter and spring on 4 points. If you complete them all in spring, the 4 points for each of the other seasons will be added on. So when you go back to summer, autumn and winter, you'll notice that the points will have jumped up by 4 to a new total. So that's what I mean by even if the season has ended, these monthly events still go on and the points will be added on. So say you got 36 points and you wanted 40 points, but then you completed all 4 of the monthly rivals in the next week, that will then take you up to 40 in that previous season where you didn't get your 40 points. So hopefully that makes sense. Now the actual objective for these is post a clean lap to complete, or in some cases, like in the Copper Canyon Sprint, it's just post a clean time, because that isn't a lapped race, that's a sprint race. But basically you just need to avoid hitting anything, so hitting walls or any other non-destructible objects. You can't use rewind, and you can't get your car reset or like miss any checkpoints or anything like that, because all 3 of those things will dirty your lap or flag your lap. You'll get an exclamation mark next to your time, and that means that it will be posted on the leaderboard, but it won't count because it's not a legitimate time. So basically you just need to post a clean time. It can be as slow as you want. If you want to take an hour and a half to do it, completely up to you. If you don't have to beat your rival, so you can just go against whatever ghost it picks for you. However, like I said before, if you want to go back and try and improve your time, because that's what you want to do, then you can do that like you would in any other rivals events. But to actually complete these in the festival playlist, you just need to post a clean time. Now then, before I finish this video and let you crack on with all of these challenges, unless you've been doing them as you've been watching along, we have the expansion events to take a look at, which cover those on Rally Adventure and Hot Wheels. Of course, Hot Wheels was released before Rally Adventure, but they are the other way around in the festival playlist, but I just call them as a whole expansion events. These expansions can be purchased on their own, so you can buy the expansions bundle, which gets you both expansions. I believe that the Rally Adventure expansion can be actually purchased separately, but the Hot Wheels one can't. Don't really ask me. Don't ask me, because I just don't know why. I just don't know. And you can also get them as part of the premium add-ons bundle. So if you bought the game standard and then you buy the premium add-ons bundle, the expansions are included, as are the VIP pass, the car packs that were added at the start of the game, not all of the ones that have been added since, with which there are about half a dozen. and a couple of other things. And obviously if you bought Premium Edition outright like I did, then all those things were included from the start, even before the expansions were released. And you also need to play through a bit of the expansions before you complete these, so you don't just get to go straight into these events. You have to complete some of the career mode first on the expansions, get up to a certain level as such, metaphorically, and then you'll be able to access these events every week. So there is a PR stunt and a championship on each expansion, as there always is. On the Rally Adventure expansion, we've got Tierras Verdes Speed Zone, getting you 2 points in the Super Wheel Spin, and for that you'll need a 1973 Alpine A110 in B class, and then you can win that from the Seasonal Championship Turning Up the Heat, which will also get you 5 points, and that's based on the road racing element of the Rally Adventure expansion. And the restriction for that one is C-Class Hot Hatch. Now, of course, we had Hot Hatch earlier for one of the events on the main map, so I won't show them again. But I'll just quickly pop up the screenshot of the Alpine that you need for the Speed Zone. My apologies, I have just realised that the previous Hot Hatch was in B class, so I'll just quickly pop up the screenshot of the one that I've got in C class for you, and just ignore what I was saying before. Finally then, we have the events on the Hot Wheels expansion, which are the Water's Edge Drift Zone, getting you 2 points and a Super Wheel Spin, and requiring an A-Class Mazda RX-7 Spirit R. And then we also have the Seasonal Championship, That's the Spirit, which is based on speed events on Hot Wheels. It will get you 5 points and the Mazda that you need for the Drift Zone on that expansion. So let's go to my garage. I'll just quickly pop up these screenshots for those, and you need S1 class Ferrari for the championship at the bottom there. Right then guys, that wraps up the seasonal guide for the summer wet season of Series 36 Horizon Cars and Coffee. I hope that my guide has helped you in this season to unlock as many of the 75 points as possible. Obviously you've got that exclusive Aventador that I would recommend getting your hands on, as well as the Ferrari Dino. Don't forget the items in the Forzathon shop as well, and of course you'll be working towards your series rewards in the Horizon Cars and Coffee update. And I hope you like the stuff in the update as well. I certainly have already taken a few photos at that Evolving World location. Definitely very impressed with that. Not massively impressed with the car pack, however. So far I have made a bit of a stance drift build out of the Nissan that's in there, which is pretty cool. To be fair, basically an estate Nissan GTR, so that is pretty cool. So I hope you guys have fun in the update. I hope you enjoy and successfully complete these challenges in the festival playlist. If there's any questions that you need to ask still, if there's anything that I haven't covered, if you need any clarification on anything, if you need any extra tunes, then do just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out in the comments, Xbox or Discord or wherever you can find me. But I don't think there's anything else apart from that. So without any further ado, I will just stop waffling now, and I'll let you crack on with the challenges, and hopefully I will see you next week. Hopefully, I can never guarantee anymore. However, hopefully I'll be back next week for autumn, where we've got the VW SP2 to take a look at, a car that I've never heard of, but I am intrigued to see what it is made of. Bye.